Well, I'm sitting with Randy Oostra. He's the CEO and president of Promedica. And Randy, thanks for taking the time. But I also know that you grew up in the church. And so you know the story of King Solomon, of how God said to King Solomon that you can have whatever you want.
Yeah, the story of King Solomon's a great story. Son of David. David passes. Solomon takes over as king. And if you go back to Chronicles and you read the whole story of Solomon, he asks, for two things, which is really interesting. He asks for knowledge, but he also asks for wisdom. God was so impressed with his request that he didn't ask for riches, he didn't ask for long life, he didn't ask for power. We have lots of times different issues that come up that everybody's got a view of what's the right thing to do from their viewpoint. And, you look at all those viewpoints, and again, sometimes the quote unquote right thing to do isn't necessarily the wise thing to do. And I think as we get older, we look a lot smarter than we did when we were younger, just because, again, those life experiences. And I think even as we think about it from a faith standpoint, the more experience we have, the more understanding we have of our faith and what it means to be a Christian, I think the more that all kind of rounds us off and makes us wiser people.
What I'd love to hear is how you've applied that or have navigated that in your personal life as well as even professionally.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
So here's the first one.
Yep.
So the first one is Proverbs 1:7, and it says, "The fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline."
So if you think about that, the fear of the Lord is true knowledge. So now we talk about knowledge, and we think about people, have a lot of instances where people think knowledge is based on how smart I am at certain things, or I'm technically good at something. But again, I think if we think about our lives, it is fearing God. And if you have that worldview, if you fear God and you understand our role and our worldview, and role as Christians, and just that fear of God, that if we don't continue to come back to that fear of the Lord and the grace that we see through our Lord Jesus Christ,